Number 1 said, explain how archaeologists and geologists help us to learn about the past. We talked about this yesterday. Archaeologists study what? Who knows? Fossils, old life, bones, artifacts. Yes, we're on page 39. Geologists study what?
Life.
Human remains, rocks, the actual planet. So because I studied things that people used to have and I studied how the planet used to look, how does that help us learn about the past? So you know what those two things are, but the question is, how does it help you learn? So your answer should be something like, well, because geologists and archaeologists have studied what people did, now they can tell us how life used to be, what the areas used to look like, what the people used to do. That helps me to learn about the past. Yes? You need a pen. Okay? There we go. What? No, these are your notes. Your notes can be in color, they can be in marker, whatever it is, because you don't turn those in. Sure, you don't turn them in. Number 2 says, how did hunter-gatherers survive? We just saw that. So can somebody explain to me, how do hunter-gatherers survive? Yes, sir.
They have to hunt for food and then gather it.
Okay, so they had to hunt for food and then gather it. Because if they didn't, they would
Starve.
They would starve. They would die. Thank you. Number 3, how do people adapt to climate change? So somebody gave me a great answer yesterday about animals. How did the animals help them when the climate started changing? I think it was you, Mona. What you got? They would use the animal fur to help them stay warm. Okay? So you guys talked about using the animals as tools, using the animals for food and for clothes. Yes, as it got colder, they started using the animals as fur or as clothes or leather, things like that. Number 4, the Neolithic Agriculture Revolution. That's what we just learned about. We just watched it. So we saw how people used to do what?
I was going to ask, can you please slow down a little bit?
I will try, but we only have 2 minutes left. That's why we're recording this, so you can go home and watch it later. Okay, but it's 9:32. You guys leave at 9:40. So the revolution. Revolution means change. Agriculture is the study of farming and crops. So somebody tell me what we used to do. We used to move around with the animals. We used to have to do, what did you say?
We would have to hunt and then gather all the
We would have to hunt and then gather the crops. So move around is a very key word. I'm looking for that. We used to have to go around a lot. And then we learned how to, that word starts with a D, domesticate plants and animals. We learned how to grow them ourselves. Yes. And then we started growing something that starts with an F. We started farming. We started having our own farms. Very good. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so number 5, how did farming lead to food surpluses? You told us a surplus was having extra, more food, a big amount. So how did that lead to a population? Well, at lunch, when you have a whole lot of chips, do you get to sit by yourself and eat those chips by yourself? No. Everybody comes out of nowhere, right? Looking for some of your stuff. Okay? So that's what happened in old times, in regular people's lives. It's like, oh, we got a lot of corn today. Oh, y'all got corn? And people started coming around. Okay? Right. Maybe you wanted to. Number 6. Come on, guys. We got 2 more. We can make it. Number 6. In early civilization, how was government connected to religion? So your government and your religion were connected. When we talked about the 8 features of a civilization, government is one of them and religion is another. So we agreed that it was easier to live together if people followed the same sort of rules, if they had the same beliefs. So when we talked about the hierarchy or who's in charge and then who's kind of at the bottom of importance, like sometimes the peasants or the slaves were at the bottom, the rulers were important, and then the priests were like right underneath them. Or sometimes the priests were rulers. And so that's how they were pretty important. They would advise or talk to the people that were in charge. The priests would talk to them. Or the priests themselves were actually in charge. Okay? So how was government connected to religion? The priests advised the people in the government, or sometimes the priests were in control of the government. Lastly, hieroglyphics. We talked about our own alphabet, but hieroglyphics are Egyptian writing or pictographic writing. Okay, so pictures instead of letters. We did it. Nice job. Go and watch the video. It's like notes. It's not going to help you if you don't watch it. Okay? So your notes are not going to help you if you don't read them.